Hello. We take you live to Precinct 3 in Minneapolis.
We're told they are going to be walking up soon. We're not exactly sure who we will hear from. We have to assume it's Mayor Fry. He put out a tweet tonight, but we know it's getting late. These fires aren't out. So a lot of people want to hear from their elected officials, and that's why we're waiting right now. We were told this press conference would start at 1.
We're live
it's
from St. Paul,
often these things
not
do
Precinct
run
3.
late.
There are
And
fires
so we're
in
just
multiple
waiting
locations.
here as we watch these fires just continue.
And the one on the right is in St. Paul.
It is.
Right. And Kevin, did we determine if that was a shopping center that was on fire?
Well, there is a shopping center. We can't tell from this angle.
It's not the one with, is that the one with the TJ Maxx and that?
That was farther down, the first fire of the day. This is new in a different building, I believe. There's a grocery store in there as well. This was going to be part of the new development at the University in Snelling, again, with using the soccer stadium, as the foundation for all
first
of that.
Responders.
And this looks like a big fire that is
really
still
burning
very heavily. Yeah.
All right, back now to Minneapolis, where we're not seeing those high flames anymore. It's really just right there, ground level. What wood is left is still just
So this is
burning.
supposedly
A lot of these
Precinct
buildings,
3?
main structure, concrete, steel. So this is what is left to burn.
Just think of all the patient cases and
Wild
files.
to hear those sounds.
I mean,
of
prisoner
fire.
cases and files.
And to know that it just
Suspect cases
burned
and
to the
files.
point that there is nothing left. And never any water on it or anything.
No.
It's just. But we did talk to the Chief Friedel, and he said they could not get in there safely, the safety of his crew.
So all the evidence has to be destroyed now?
Number one on this, and he said when they
You're looking at a police
go
department.
into
or
situations like this, they get pelted with rocks and bottles and things like that, and they cannot stay in there.
And we've
and
seen
get
that
hurt.
happen.
Yeah.
And the fire chief also told us he is with the National Guard soldiers who were sent out to help. So a lot of people asking,
Help what?
where is the National Guard?
Department's
apparently
gone.
Staged at some distance with Minneapolis Fire.
And then we have also heard that some of our troopers, our state troopers, we have about 200 of them that have come in for this, are over on Nicollet, downtown.
Downtown Minneapolis, yeah.
To keep things peaceful down
I see
in that area
ton of
as
protesters
well.
out there.
And we had a peaceful protest down there tonight. This one started at 5 o'clock downtown, and it went down through downtown and lasted until about 8 o'clock. And that one didn't really seem to have too many problems. However, when we just got out here to the 3rd precinct, not that far away, we see this. Nothing
Dramatic
left
scene.
of the 3rd precinct, nothing left of the liquor store, and so many of the things around it. You know, last night, we had 16 structures right in this neighborhood burn, and I believe it was more than 30 fires that were set, but 16 structures.
And that's how we're seeing right now at work in St. Paul, how it's just a fire popping up. For example, that Lloyd's Pharmacy fire off of Snelling that we were just watching.
So multiple buildings are being burnt to the ground
fire
in St.
at
Paul
Lloyd's Pharmacy,
and
that is
over in this location.
right across from a public library. It looked like they were focusing on the pharmacy.
Right.
And I believe this is what's left of the Minnehaha Lake Wine and Spirits liquor store. Of course, there was a tobacco shop right next to that, which is completely gone.
And you know, I noticed that I don't see any people anymore.
Right.
You know, I know our viewers,
they burn,
so
they
many
go.
of them are coming to this from so many different thought patterns. And they're watching this. Some people we know are celebrating this. And we know other people are saying, wait, this isn't what this is about.
Right.
We want justice for George Floyd, but this is not what we want.
This is taking it to another
and then
level.
we have other people who are watching this and saying,
A lot of people there.
oh my God, our cities are in turmoil. And we just know people at home right now are watching it in disbelief.
Yeah. You see it, and there are still people there as we look around. It does look like there perhaps are fewer people. However, they're still out there. There's not much left to burn at this particular point.
On Twitter, you get beauties like this: riot. It's righteous anger against racist police. It's called enough is enough. It's called stop, us. Then we have the appropriate hashtags there. When the 3rd precinct finally goes kaboom. And here's someone from Milwaukee commenting.
This the madness that they spark up. This is
Okay. I'm expecting that might not be good for YouTube. Here's a shot from earlier when the police were being routed out of the 3rd precinct. These cars are retweeting there. Here's another live shot from the 3rd
all
precinct.
across America, we need to burn this motherfucker.
This is Target's gonna recover tomorrow.
Right. Have a good night.
Just went to work, took care of his family,
George
all that,
Floyd.
man.
What is
I
your
knew
best
George
memory of him?
personally.
Shit, he used to come to the gig, man, and ask me, hook him up with meals, and he'd hit me back later. I used to work over there on 3rd and Lake at McDonald's right there. I was a manager. Good guy, man. Always been a good guy.
tried to get me to break into the Mall of America. They wanted me to break into the
what?
There's a group of motorcycle riding motherfuckers. It's night. Okay, they wanted me to break into the Mall of America. I'm Tony Cordes Eklund, Anthony Ocean Cordes Eklund, here tonight. It sounds like some crazy shit, but these motherfuckers, I've been here since the first night, okay? Okay, I'm from here. I'm sad my Target's burned down. Where am I gonna shop? Where am I gonna get my groceries? Born and raised. Potterhorn Park. I went to South High, Minneapolis. These motherfuckers. I had my motorcycle here last night when the shit was burning down. I met up with a group of motherfuckers. They looked like fucking right out the military. They were all strong and well kept. Okay, motherfucker, they were strong. And they all knew how to do Papa Wheelie. And they couldn't, I asked for them, tell me where you're from. Ask me your story. Where you from? I'm from Southside, Minneapolis. They couldn't say a word. I know one of the motherfuckers is making a story up, okay? Please get me before they kill me. Because them motherfuckers, I lost my fucking bike tonight. I was on my bicycle. They rolled up in their motorcycles. I recognize each and every motherfucking one of them. Please protect me. I'm Anthony Cordes Eklund, okay?
Okay, so please keep his story in mind. He's saying that there were some Caucasian instigators. I'll show you some further evidence of that.
Well, you can't even say he contributed to his own death. Yeah. And he was, even though he was intoxicated, he still complied to everything they wanted. He didn't put no fight up. He didn't do anything. He was in handcuffs.
This is just a glory shot of fireworks at Precinct 3. They set off a huge display. This is one of the instigators, allegedly. This Caucasian guy with a gas mask on and an umbrella. And so this other guy is trying to stop him from breaking the windows at a auto store. And this is one heck of a meme.
Oh, look at this car, they're saying.
I take you back live on KSTP 5 at 1:23 in the morning in Minneapolis.
Kind of want to hear what they're saying. It's hard to hear.
Still protesters running about.
So many people with cameras taking pictures.
The social
And we'll be
distancing
honest, we just really
discussion is
don't
not even
know
present here.
exactly at this point what's going on with the city and with the schedule. We were told a 1 p.m. news conference, and this deserves us to wait and get that on air. It is that serious of a situation that we're going to wait it out. Unless I'm
And
told
again, now a
otherwise by my
fire
boss.
erupting again. This is the view from Hiawatha Avenue at Lake. And it appears that the 3rd Police Precinct fire has dwindled, but there's something new being set in the middle of the screen, which would be near the liquor store that was burning, but that appeared to be burned
It
out.
looked like it was burned out, but we did see people throwing some things into it, so perhaps they've been able to throw something else in there. I'm looking at the flashing lights. Those are probably stoplights I see flashing right there, because all the trains are shut down. The blue line and the green line, by the way, all the way through
That's right.
Sunday. So if
Bus lines.
bus lines are
Correct.
down as well, All of that for the safety of employees and the riding public. So there.
I'm just going to interrupt this to tell you that these are very unprecedented times in our history. I suspect the possibility of riots all across the country soon. Meanwhile, the commander-in-chief, he makes a rather incendiary tweet that starts to trend. It starts with him calling out the mayor of Minneapolis as being radical left. And it ends with a phrase that I can't say for YouTube. Well, actually, I'll go ahead and say it. When looting starts, the shooting starts. This phrase is going to be trending all day. Would say tomorrow, but it's actually already today. So 5/29, it's going to be trending all day. This is going to be huge. This can represent a huge backlash against President Trump. All right, let's go back.
There is no transportation on the blue line, the green line, and buses all the way through Sunday.
There's something.
This is going now. Do we know what building that is?
Or if it's a building.
Burning strong.
As we ask these questions, our producers usually are able to help us get this information, so we sort of ask out loud, hoping for answers. And usually we get them, but yeah, this one is starting to take off for sure. Or continue taking off. If
this would be
it's growing. It's
a new
for sure
fire.
Growing, yeah. There's something in there they've been able to light
and
or
someone
relight.
at home right now is hoping that is not their business.
Yeah. It's a sleepless night for so many in the Twin Cities.
Do we know where this fire is right now? Do we know the location?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We're being told we don't know what business it is.
Okay. Mayor Fry has just walked out to the podium.
Okay.
Let's listen in.
Earlier this evening, after receiving real-time information from our Chief Arredondo, and after having numerous phone calls with him regarding the evolving situation at the 3rd Precinct, it became clear that there were imminent threats to both
officers and public. And the danger became necessary, and I made the decision to evacuate the 3rd Precinct.
So it was your decision.
The symbolism of
the
a
mayor of
building
Minneapolis
cannot outweigh the importance of life, of our officers or the public. We could not risk serious injury to anyone. And we will continue to patrol the 3rd Precinct entirely. We will continue to do our jobs.
When you have the cops evacuate, it's not being controlled.
And, you know, brick and mortar is not as important as life. Happy to answer any questions on this topic.
Mayor, did you hear that people, did you receive word earlier in the day that people might be interested in protesting at or going into the 3rd Precinct?
We have received reports regarding many attempting to get into the 3rd Precinct on numerous occasions, yes.
What's your response to President Trump's tweets saying that looters should be shot? Have you seen the president's tweets?
No, I have not. Can you?
I'd have to bring it up here to quote it exactly. Does anybody else have that up here?
Mayor, what's the plan here? What are we doing?
With regard to?
Clearing the streets. A lot of businesses have been burned down. A lot of livelihoods have been hurt. We've seen very little police out there just in general at the 3rd and throughout, and I'm just wondering, what is the plan and who is in charge
right now in this city?
There is a lot of pain and anger right now in our city. I understand that. Our entire city recognizes that. What we have seen over the past several hours and the past couple of nights in terms of looting is unacceptable. Our communities cannot and will not tolerate it. These are businesses, these are community institutions that we need. These are banks that people rely on to get cash, grocery stores that people rely on to get food. These are pharmacies that people rely on to get medicine. They are essential to our community, and we need to make sure that they are protected. And so we are working with our officers right now. We are working, of course, with resources provided by the state. We've authorized mutual aid and a unified strategy so that we can work with different jurisdictions in the area. You know, it was clear as of last night that we needed additional help. And we got that additional help, some from the state, and we are expecting more as well. I'll say this, we additionally need help from our community. We need to make sure that people are looking out for our city right now. It's not just enough to do the right thing yourself. We need to be making sure that all of us are held accountable to make sure that we're holding up the highest ideals that we stand by.
I'll translate for you. There is no plan.
Tonight, they were saying things like, where are the police right now?
Where are the police?
Right now?
Why are they abandoning the precincts?
Guard right now?
Where's the National Guard? These are good questions.
Where were the police, firefighters, and National Guard to protect that third precinct and to protect that neighborhood?
As you already know, there were more than a few fires that our firefighters had to put out. There were more than a few incidents of looting that our officers had to attend to.
Notice his voice tone.
We are doing absolutely everything that we can to keep the peace. We have officers that are stationed around the city in several different locations. We have, in many instances, assistance from the state to prevent looting at some of these community institutions that we know will be necessary to get through this pandemic. You know, this is one of the most difficult situations that our city has been through. I'm not going to stand up in here and tell you that there are easy answers to it, because there are not.
Again, this is Mayor Fry, Minneapolis.
What I can tell you is that through this pandemic, Chief Arredondo has my 100% support. Chief Friedel and the fire department has my 100% support. We're going to be united as a city.
So where is the National Guard and how is it being deployed? Who's
Good
got
question.
that control? Who's making those calls?
So many of these questions you're going to want to direct to our chief, who has been working consistently with Harrington from the state.
You know, the mayor has no idea.
And many of the National Guard, as I mentioned, were stationed and are being stationed in locations to help prevent some of the looting that we've seen.
Like what? Like what stations?
Banks, grocery stores, pharmacies.
Mayor, I have the president's tweet here. He sent out two just in the last couple hours. One personally attacking you. A second one that says,
Can you read it?
Just spoke to Governor Tim Walz and I told him that the military is with him all the way. Any difficulty and we will assume control, but when the looting starts, the shooting starts. This is the President of the United States tweeting just a little bit ago. What's your reaction to that?
What was the other tweet?
There was an earlier one calling you a radical leftist and a weak mayor, and to get things under control. And I have it here. I can't stand back and watch this happen to a great American city. A total lack of leadership, says the president. Either the very weak radical left mayor Jacob Fry get his act together and bring the city under control, or I will send in the National Guard and get the job done right. That was the first of two tweets from the president.
Well, Let me say this. Weakness is refusing to take responsibility for your own actions. Weakness is pointing your finger at somebody else during a time of crisis. Donald Trump knows nothing about the strength of Minneapolis. We are strong as hell. Is this a difficult time period? Yes, but you better be damn sure that we're gonna get through this.
Mayor, some people have questioned whether you made a conscious decision to let people go into the 3rd precinct and offer it up as kind of one of these healing spots that you had referenced earlier in the day. Is that how you were approaching it?
No.
The media is not giving this guy a pass.
The decision that I made was for the safety of our officers and the safety of the public.
It wasn't a very safe decision given that there was a gas line at the precinct.
A building cannot outweigh the importance of life.
The building could have
It's a decision that I
exploded,
did not take
Mayor
lightly.
Fry.
I understand the importance of a precinct, but we are able to regroup and continue providing the same service to the 3rd precinct as a geography.
It takes us to a live
At
shot.
what point did you make that decision?
I don't remember the exact time.
Was it earlier in the afternoon, or
Looks like a
just couple
scene out of
hours
the
before?
movie. This movie's called Overdrive.
As situations started to escalate more and more, as we saw more and more people breach the perimeter, as we noted, we have to have our officers at many locations throughout the city to prevent looting and crime. It became obvious to me that safety was at risk, and it became obvious to me that we could take a different route that would better assist both the public as well as the safety of our police officers.
Mayor, any idea how many officers were in that building when it was breached?
I think you have to talk to the chief.
And 2, is there a calculus in terms of property versus engaging protesters or being more overt with force? Is there a decision-making process in terms of building versus engagement?
I don't understand your question.
I mean, you have a decision to make whether the building, the 3rd precinct in general, some of those businesses on that corner should just be let go, no police responding to it, or do you engage the protesters and clear them off the streets by, any means necessary, and the tools that are at your disposal in terms of a heavily, tooled
Oh my
urban
gosh.
police force that
That's
I
so
would imagine
clumsy.
have the tools to clear streets.
I really hope we're recording
I'm
right
still
now.
not following. The decision comes down to public safety, period.
So what do you tell the public?
I'm going to take one more question. Yep.
So what do you tell the public in that community that doesn't have that precinct to work from to help protect the other homes or other businesses?
The resources that we will offer to the people of the 3rd precinct will continue, period. The building is
He's
just
very
bricks
stressed.
and mortar. It's a building.
What if it does get worse? You talked about the community needs to help, but what if they don't? What is that plan to address that?
I've been in touch with Governor Walz at the state. Again, we have expressed the need for resources. We are appreciative already of the assistance that we've
Again,
gotten
there is
in
no
the form
plan.
of state patrols, and as you know, we've requested the National Guard as well. And we anticipate that those resources will be increasing as well.
Mr. Mayor, everybody, thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
That was Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Fry taking the podium there well after 1 p.m. He said, brick and mortar not as important as life, then takes questions.
It's 1 in the morning. I don't know why she keeps saying 1 p.m.
Pretty hard from reporters. One of the first questions was, what is the plan? Who is in charge right now?
She must be
Again,
very tired.
what is the plan? He was asked.
He also was the person to make the decision to pull out of the 3rd precinct and let it burn, and he explained the reasons why for that, but he is the person. It's not the chief of police, it's the mayor that made that decision tonight.
He also said for residents that the patrols will continue and services will continue to people who live in that neighborhood. He said he has gives full support to Police Chief Arredondo and Fire Chief Friedel for the decisions that they are making. But tonight he sounded like a very frustrated man. He asked for help not only from the governor, but also he asked for help from the citizens of Minneapolis to, quote, protect the city.
And then he was asked, but what if they don't do that? What is the plan?
And that's...
There is no plan.
As we look at this tonight, the answers are difficult to all of these questions. And
I'm sure.
We see
there
what's
has to be a
left here
plan.
in the third precinct
Executive
and
decision.
the area around it.
There are frustrations top to bottom in the city of Minneapolis tonight. And we're going to show you a picture from St. Paul, if we could now.
And this is a live picture.
Very different scene.
Yeah.
We believe this is a pawn shop. They do have fire on the, water on this one through a ladder truck. So hopefully this one does get put down. They believe pawn shop near Allianz Field. You can see that smoke, dark as could be.
And that in the foreground is Allianz Field, the pro soccer stadium. And so this is beyond that, and there is some distance. It's hard to tell from this picture right here. But
there is a liquor store right there in that parking lot.
And these are the things that we've seen burn. Pawn shops, liquor stores, those are the types of things, and then auto parts stores.
Mayor Fry said they're doing everything they can to keep the peace.
About the third precinct, he said symbolism of the building is not worth safety.
And you can see the stadium there on the right from this shot in St. Paul.
And just look at that smoke.
But not far away from that big structure.
So we leave you tonight after hearing from Mayor Fry with fires still burning in the Twin Cities.
And
amazing.
It'll be an active morning. And on behalf of all of us, thank you for joining us. This is important information to pass along to the community. Megan and Chris are here at 4:30 tomorrow morning, not long from now. Excuse me, this morning. It is
That's
Friday
right.
morning right now.
3 hours, yes.
And so just in about 3 hours.
Be safe out there. Be good to each other. And thank you for being with us.
Oh, you're welcome. Good presentation.
One thing in common. Pain. Walk Fits went into their shoes and the pain went away.